Hi there. Sorry, that was a great start, wasn't it? I'm nailing these fantastic exuberant starts to my videos these days. But anyway, today I'm gonna be doing a very exciting review on the Makeup Revolution Ultra Eye Contour Light and Shade palette. Now, this is an obvious dupe for the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I love the way that Makeup Revolution don't make any kind of pretense that they're not copying someone else. It's called the Light and Shade palette. They thought, what should we call it? Well, Kat Von D's is the Shade and Light, so why don't we just put them the other way around and it could be the Light and Shade palette? They said, yes, that sounds great. No one will ever know we were basically ripping it off. But anyway, I love Makeup Revolution. They're one of my favourite drugstore affordable brands. If you have yet to try anything by Makeup Revolution, you need to get some stuff, because honestly you will not be disappointed. Anyway, I just want to mention this lip product I'm wearing today. How beautiful is it? I have done a review. It's by Primark, of all places. Velvet Matte Lipstick Crayon in the shade Mushroom, which by the way I think looks very similar to Cashmere by Lime Crime. We're not talking about that today, we're talking about the palette. Familiar with the Kat Von D one? It's an all matte palette which has lots of the typical shades that you would use to put in your crease, to create dimension in your eye area, and none of the shades are kind of crazy or out there. They're all the kind of shades that mesh really well together and shades that you can create shade and light with. So I think the name is, you know, perfect. It suits the palette, but it's totally a rip-off of Kat Von D, of course. I wonder what she thinks of this, if she even knows about it. She probably doesn't care, does she really? She's just stroking her bald cat like, life is so good. I have a fantastic makeup line out. I hate Jeffree Star. I don't know why I ever associated myself with him, but who cares? On a whole other level. Just a whole other video for another day. Now, I actually was really wanting to save up and buy the Kat Von D palette, but then this came out and I thought, okay, well, maybe I don't need to now. It costs £8. You can buy it Makeup Revolution from Superdrug. You can buy it from the Tam Beauty website, which I think it's like the parent company for Makeup Revolution, I Heart Makeup, the Makeup Pro brand. Sorry, I'm distracted. I just spotted the postman. What is he doing here so early? Usually they come at like early afternoon, but he's here so early. Anyway, who cares? No one cares. Okay, so I have been using this palette pretty much every day for about a week and a half now. I wanted to really give it a good test before I did any kind of review on it. Makeup Revolution is a brand that do tend to produce really good high quality products, but obviously I wanted to just try it for myself. I've not watched any other reviews on this palette, so I don't really know what the general consensus is. I don't really like to watch other people's reviews before I review something, because I don't want to be biased in any way, or I just like to test out a product for myself and then do a review and tell you what I think. I've got it on my eyes today and I think, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I am in no way, in any way skilled at doing any kind of makeup application, as you probably know. The shades are very easy to blend, they don't take much work, and I think that all the different shades here give you lots of different options for different crease shades, for different highlight shades, and then for the deeper shades. You can create some really beautiful looks with this palette. The negatives about this are that there is a lot of fallout. So apparently this powder doesn't have any talc whatsoever in it. I'm just going to check. No, it's got no talc whatsoever in it. So I was kind of expecting that the formula would be slightly more creamy, but it's not. It's like the most powdery eyeshadow formula I think I've ever come across in my life. You only have to dip your brush in. I'll show you. I'll get a small brush. Okay, so just watch this. So I'll just dip my brush in there. Oh, there's no way you can see that, but probably can't see anything, can you? No. That was a waste of time. The thing that I really like about this palette is that you've got options here to your face as well as your eyes. It's covering all bases here. You've got this shade, which if you're fair skinned like me, this works really nicely as a contour shade. It's a cool toned kind of, it's almost like grey. I wouldn't really call it a brown, it's more grey. And you've got this lovely orangey shade, which again you could use as a blush. And then you've got like an almost a vanilla ivory kind of off-white shade here, which works really well to highlight below the brow bone or the inner corner, or just to lighten up your under eye area. So I do feel like they've given you a lot of variety and options here. One negative that I've kind of discovered with this palette is that it is quite limiting. I know I've just said that it offers you a lot of variation, and it does, in the sense of, you know, you can pick which colour do I want in my crease today. I've got a blush, I've got a contour shade, I've got the richer, deeper kind of over the lid shades. I can create a smoky eye, I can create a natural everyday eye, even a no makeup eye look you can create with this palette. So that's what I mean about variety. However, I feel like at this point, a week and a half in, I'm just craving a little bit of shimmer, and I'm a matte girl, craving a little bit of a pop of colour. I'm just craving something else, really. And don't get me wrong, I would definitely recommend you picking up this palette, particularly if you're fond of mattes. I think it would be a really good addition to your collection, because I do feel like you are going to be using this. It's just a staple to having any kind of collection, because you've just got all these different options for crease shades. I think the quality is really there. I think for £8 you can't really go wrong with this. I think you're going to find a shade, 5 shades, 8 shades. I think you're going to find shades in this palette that you'll be using every day, because it's just got all those kind of everyday shades. Even if you're using another palette and you're using shimmery shades or pop of colour, you've got a whole range of crease shades here that I think would be really useful to have. So all in all, I would definitely recommend this palette. I just feel like now, probably just because, you know, I wouldn't typically use the same palette every day for over a week. So I think naturally I'm just a little bit bored of it right now, and that's no reflection on the palette. It's just that I'm looking forward to using some shimmers. I do feel like the looks that I've been coming out with using this palette have all been quite similar. I think that's probably my lack of any kind of makeup skills that's caused that. I think if you're good at makeup, then you could probably create, you know, a lot more adventurous looks than I've been able to create. Also, because I am so terrible at applying makeup, I'm not going to bore you with me doing my makeup, because I'm not very good, and there's no point of me showing you how to use it, because it'll basically just be me faffing around with a brush trying to get my eyes to look somewhat similar and blended. So I'm not going to do that today, because I'm not professional. I'm not going to pretend to be. What I am going to do though is I'm going to insert a couple of pictures into the end of the video where you can see the different makeup looks that I have created. You just get the joy of missing out on seeing the awful application and shouting at the screen saying, what is she doing? Blend, blend, blend. It's not blended. Anwen, blend, for God's sake. So now I'm going to do some swatches so that you can see how the shades actually kind of go on. So I'm just going to begin by doing that. I'll make sure my hand is clear, because my hand is never clear of swatches. I always have some, look, you can see, I always have something going on my hand. Like, it's just, this is just me. So anyway, I am, oh, disasters are happening here. Okay, so there they are. I feel like the darker of the shades are very pigmented, whereas I do feel like the lighter shades are a little bit not so pigmented. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. As you can see, there is quite a lot of fallout. Can you see there? It's just kind of bunched up a little bit. And you can see here as well the lighter of the shades. I mean, that one's not so bad, but this one, and I'm very fair skinned, isn't really doing all that much. That's what I mean by, you know, the lighter shades and all that opaque. Okay, and now the last of the 3 eyeshadow shades are going on. Sorry about my nails, I needed to do them and I didn't. Now, even though some of the shades do look very similar, there are subtle differences. For example, which one is it? This one and this one, they look very much a brick reddy shade, but one here is slightly more of a brown, burgundy red. Is it burgundy? I don't know. And this one's more of like a reddy brown. I'm terrible describing anything. My hair was annoying me, so I've put it up. I don't know why I ever insist on wearing my hair down, really. Okay, so now I'm swatching the top 3, those bigger shades at the top. The orangey, well, it's not orange, peach toned kind of blush shade, or it works really well as a transition shade. Look at me getting all technical with the eyeshadow terms. Transition shade. And the contoury kind of grey shade, and then the under eye kind of ivory off-white shade. And you can barely see them all after all that description. But anyway, believe me, they're there. They are there. I'm going to just apply again, just to give them a little bit more of a, you know, a shot of being seen. Because, yeah, that's what we're here for. Okay, here we go again. Try and get the exact places. There we go. There are all the swatches on my arm. And as you can see, I mean, they're looking good. I'd say the majority of them are very pigmented. Very, very easy to apply, but you do get a lot of fallout. Like, I always tend to do my makeup in not very good light, let's say. No, I always think it's good light, but apparently it's awful light, because sometimes when I go out into the daylight, I'm like, Anwen, what were you doing? Seriously? I do find that you do get a lot of fallout, so I would advise to maybe do your foundation after you've done your eye makeup with these. You will get fallout. Even if you tap your brush, blow the brush, bang the brush off the table, whatever you're doing with that brush, you're going to get some fallout coming out, because I just think these shades are very powdery. So I really do recommend this palette. I've certainly not been disappointed by it in any way. I just feel like I've had my overload now of mattes. I'm ready now for a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of a pop of a colour on my eyes, because I mean, I'm a bit bored of it at this point, but only because I've used it every single day, which I wouldn't normally do if I weren't kind of testing it out. But as I said earlier, I feel like if you did invest in this palette, I think you will find that you're not necessarily using purely this palette on its own every day, but I feel like you're going to be dipping into it for like the transition shade, for like a contour shade, for just a blendy kind of shade. I think you will find that you'll get a lot of use out of it. I don't think I have anything else to say about it for once. Yes, nothing else to say. So I hope that this review has been somewhat helpful to you. As always, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and watch me try and talk some sense and make sense in general. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've got this palette and what you think of it, or if you're thinking of getting it. I would really appreciate that. If you've got any Makeup Revolution recommendations for me, please let me know, because I just love the brand. So anyway, I'll be back soon with more reviews. And I don't know, I'm awkwardly, this has become awkward now, hasn't it, me holding this? Been holding it for way too long. Okay, I'm just going to take center stage. Here she is, center stage. Okay, thank you as always for watching, and I will be back soon with more reviews. Bye. Awkward hands. Bye.